Hi, welcome to this Blender video tutorial entitled Extrude Part 1. The Extrude tool is a very commonly used edit mode tool. To demonstrate the basic extrude operation, I've placed a cube object and a UV sphere object in my Blender scene. I'll select the cube object and tab into edit mode and deselect the vertices. The extrude operation makes an attached extraction of the subobject selection and allows that extraction to be moved to a different location. All three structural subcomponents, vertices, edges, and faces, can be extruded. I'll select this top right vertex on the cube. To extrude, I'll press the E key. Immediately upon pressing the E key, the vertex is extruded and placed in grab mode and can be moved. Now by default, Blender will constrain the extrusion to the selection normal. In the case of a vertex, the normal is a line running from the object's origin or center point through the vertex. Notice how I can simply move the extruded vertex along this normal axis. To place the extrusion, I left-click my mouse. I will undo the extrusion. This time, instead of pressing the E key, I'll press the Extrude Individual button, which is located in the 3D Editor Viewport tool panel. Now, instead of being constrained to the vertex normal, I can move the extrusion to any point and left-click it to place. The Blender shortcut for Extrude Individual is Shift-E. I will undo the extrusion. Now I'll press Shift-E to extrude individual again. To escape from an unwanted extrusion, either right-click or press the Escape button. Both will cancel the extrusion. I will select the two right vertices of the cube, thereby implicitly selecting the right edge, and then I'll press the E key to extrude. Note that there are two possible normal axis lines, and Blender does not constrain the extrusion to either. I can move the extrusion anywhere in grab mode and left-click to place it. Notice that the extrusion now includes the edge subcomponent, and thus the extraction creates a new face formed by the four edges. In Blender, this is referred to as a region extrusion. That is, the associated edge, or edges or face as the case may be, are extruded along with the vertices. I will undo the extrusion. With the same vertices selected, I will press the Extrude Region button located in the 3D Viewport tool panel. Note that this is the same result as pressing the E key with the two vertices selected. I will escape the extrusion. Here I will press the Extrude Individual. Note that the individual vertices are extruded and not the region. I'll escape the extrusion. Note that even though the vertices are selected, it appears now that they no longer have influence over the edge. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Blender bug, but to get back to normal vertex influence, we need to press Ctrl-Z and undo the operation to return to a vertex-selected influence. I'll press Ctrl-Tab and select Edge Select Mode. I will select the top and bottom edge, and then press the E key, Extrude. Note that the extrusion is placed in grab mode, and I can move the extruded edges anywhere and left-click to place them. I'll escape this extrusion. With the two edges selected, I'll press the Extrude Individual button. Note in this case that there is no difference between the Extrude Individual and Extrude Region. You can, however, with any extrusion command, follow the command with pressing either the X, Y, or Z key to constrain the extrusion direction. Here I will press the X key. Notice that the extrusion is now constrained to the X-axis. I will left-click to place the extrusion. I'll now undo the extrusion. I will now add the other two edges to the selection, thus implicitly selecting the face. I'll then press the E key. Note that the face extrusion is automatically constrained to the face normal, which in this case is the x-axis. I will left-click to place the extrusion. With the new face already selected, actually with the new 4 edges already selected, I will press the Extrude region button. Notice this is the same as pressing the E key with the 4 edges selected. I will left-click to set the extrusion. With the new face selected, I'll press the Extrude Individual button. Note that instead of extruding the influenced face, just the 4 edges are extruded. Also, because there is no face normal, the extrusion is set to grab mode, and I can place the extrusion anywhere by left-clicking. I will undo this last extrusion. With the 4 edges selected, and thus the face implicitly selected, I'll press the E key again, and as expected, the face is extruded and constrained to the face normal. Now it's also possible to follow an extrusion command with a number that indicates the number of blender units to move the extrusion. Here I will press 7 and then press the Enter key to set the extrusion. Here the face has been extruded 7 blender units along the x-axis. I'll tab out of Edit mode, select the UV sphere, and tab back into Edit mode. I'll also deselect the vertices, then press Ctrl-Tab and go to Face Select mode. I will also turn on the Limit Selection button located in the 3D Editor viewport header so that I will not accidentally select any back faces. I'll select these 4 faces and press the E key and extrude them out a bit. Notice that the extrusion was made along the individual face normals. In the case of faces on a UV sphere, this normal does not correspond with any true X, Y, or Z axis, but rather the local axis of the face itself. I'll press the E key and extrude them out a bit more. Again, each face has been extruded along its own face normal. Notice that the orientation of the new faces are the same as the originals. In fact, they are the originals. To better explain this, I will rotate my view a bit so that you can see this more clearly. I'm going to zoom in a bit here and select these 2 side faces. I'll press the X key and delete the face only. Notice that both times I extruded the face, the original face was not left behind. There's a hole here and a hole here. Extrusion is perhaps the most frequently used mesh modeling tool. It is very simple yet quite powerful. In the accompanying extrusion video tutorial, we'll examine a number of the modeling techniques using the extrusion tool.